Robert Finan, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi. Wait. I'm not actually Conor yet. Okay, so Robert Finan is here briefly to introduce Conor, who's the guy wearing the suit. Robert Finan is the guy you'll find running around afterwards without a suit on. This is the management consultant. The other guy's a coach. So, okay, I would like you to take part in basically a role-playing game with me, okay? That means I would like you to lay aside, and this should probably come with a trigger warning or a disclaimer or something along those lines, where I basically say, you know, if you feel uncomfortable with this, please feel free to leave the room at any time, because I am going to ask you lovely Agile coaches, Scrum Masters, and other managers who are interested in all things Agile to be a bunch of managers. You're a bunch of middle managers. You're not just managers, you're middle managers. And what sets you apart from other managers, you are shitting yourselves about the Agile transformation that's coming down the pipe, okay? You are worried to death that you are gonna lose your job, okay? So that's your role. Your role is to be pretty much, so what are you guys? What are you? Exactly, what are you afraid of? Exactly. Yeah, there we go. Now, luckily for you guys, okay, your company or you, I don't know, spent 500 euros a head to hire me, Conor McConor, in a minute, okay, to explain to you how to survive this Agile transformation, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to be standing up here like a TV evangelist, preaching to the converted about how to survive or sabotage an Agile transformation, okay? This is what's going to happen. All right, this is where we're going with this. So if you're uncomfortable with this, I will have security escort you from the room. Okay, right. Now I'm Conor McConor. Hi. Can I just say thank you? It's such a privilege for you people, actually, that I am here today to help you out in this very serious times that we find ourselves in the moment. You know, we're facing an existential threat as managers, literally an existential threat. I was at a meeting and I saw this slide deck, and on one of the slides was literally these Agile people said, get rid of managers. That's us. I mean, you can't get rid of us. Where would the company be without us? So we're facing this challenge at the moment, you know, there's an existential threat to us as managers. And the question is, how do we survive this? Okay, because we've done a lot to climb the career ladder to where we got to, okay? We've had to stab a lot of people in the back. We've had to lick a lot of boots. We've had to, you know, we've had to burn out project teams to get stuff done. And there's a lot of stuff we did to get here. It's now being threatened by these Agile people, okay? I mean, this is terrible. You know, this is an existential threat. But this Agile apocalypse, and you're bound to have noticed it, right? You can't avoid it. Whether you're, you know, as myself would be now reading the Harvard Business Review or just LinkedIn, the freaking hashtags, it's everywhere. Agile this, Agile that, Agile transformations, Agile coaching, Scrum Masters, do this, do that, be Agile. It is everywhere at the moment. You see all the articles, C-level agility, sort of like the age of Agile, go swimming with dolphins and be Agile. All these really important papers that come out at the moment. It's everywhere. All the manager types up there going, oh, we've got these really self-empowered teams and it's so great. And there's a picture of the team going, you know, come on, we see it everywhere. So it's there. But if Agile is this kind of new age, hippie, you know, people empowerment and lovely, you know, why should we feel threatened by it? I mean, what's the actual danger for us? Why, if there's this Agile apocalypse, should we be worried about it? So first of all, though, I'm going to give you the good news, the really good news. Guys, this Agile apocalypse has been happening for the last 20 years and not much has changed. Okay, let's be honest here. They wrote this thing, this manifesto business 20 years ago. Really, has a lot changed in that time? So we're probably going to be okay. All right. Now, you might think if we're going to be okay, we're going to be okay. Then why am I paying 500 euros to sit here and listen to this idiot? Because it is now a rite of passage for any good manager. I presume you're all good managers. Any good manager has to go through at least one agile transformation. Okay, it's a rite of passage. Otherwise, you're not a proper manager. Okay, so when you're out with the lads and you're sitting in, I don't know, the Sky Bar in the Haas House in Vienna, talking to the boys, you know, and somebody rolls their arm up and he says, "See this scar?" And everyone's going, "Wow, that's a big scar. What's that?" Kanban. 2 years of Kanban. And you're like, "Whoa, that's not bad. Have you seen this?" And I'll go, "Oh, Jesus, would you look at that? What's that? 3 years of Scrum, 4 Scrum Masters." It's about, you got to get through it. It's going to, it's going to happen to you. So you do need to be able to get through this. Okay. It's not that simple. Okay. So it's a rite of passage. You're going to have a couple of scars to show for this, but together we can get through this. Okay. So think about that. Think it from this point of view. You're going to need this information. Now, by the way, do you know why comedians always have a bottle of water? I've worked this out since I started doing this routine, which is like once. They do this so they can say, "What the fuck was the next joke I was going to do?" They go walk over to the bottle and pick it up and think, "What was it again?" Mine are hanging down here. So I'm going to talk a lot about Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, also known as the enemy. In our case, however, I've shortened this down for you because I don't want to keep saying Scrum Masters and Agile coaches and that. So I've got a new acronym for you that you can leave this room with and feel free to use it yourself. And that is SMAC. Scrum Master and Agile Coach. Okay. So we're going to talk a lot about SMAC, singular, noun, SMAC, plural, SMACs. Okay. And then there's the Urban Dictionary version, okay, which is SMAChead, which is basically somebody who's so high on Agile, that they are just, they've lost all rationality, basically. It's a drug, okay? These people are SMACheads. They're the ones you really need to watch out for, okay? Because they're so hard to stop. SMACs, you'll probably get under control. SMACheads, it's a bit more difficult. Could become life-threatening. So that's what we're gonna, I'm gonna be using that phrase quite a bit, okay? So I've kind of broken this down into, oh no, that's actually, I'll leave that for a minute, but the first off, there's another great card that you can play, he says, trying not to fall off the stage. There's a great card that you can play right off the get-go. So first of all, we know that the Agile apocalypse hasn't actually changed anything. To be true, it's like it's happening in slow motion, okay? That's what the Agile apocalypse is like, very slow. Because I reckon climate change is probably going to do for us before the Agile apocalypse does, okay? That's more likely to be the case. So that's how worried I am about this, okay? Now, you have this, they're going to come at you and they're going to talk about the Agile Manifesto. The first thing you need to know as a manager, it is the manifesto for Agile software development. Can you guys see the word business in there anywhere? Can you? No, it's not there, okay? It's not the Agile Manifesto. It's the Manifesto for Agile software development. Those last two words are very important, okay? Software development. This was developed back in a time in the late 90s where a team of 10 people writing in C++ could produce a spreadsheet, be sold by Borland, and it was a product that went across the world. This was back in the time when floppy disks were hard, okay? That never caught on as a term though. Oh yeah, can pass me the hardies? That didn't actually work. But floppy disks, good old style. You could flop them like that. Apple II, in you go. Then we got the 1.4s. It was hard, okay? This is what they were doing. Potentially shippable software. They were physically shipping the stuff out by post. And you were installing it on your computer with a box of 3 disks, hoping it wasn't going to go blue screen on you. This is when they wrote this stuff. And we're acting like it's up to date. This is, so first thing to know, it has nothing to do with business. So when they come at you with the old Agile thing, just kind of go, yeah, run away and play with your team. That's good. It's team stuff. Fine, do that. Just don't come bothering me. We've got a business to run here, and that's nothing to do with it. First card you get to play, okay? First one you want to be you're talking about. Now, the manifesto itself has got a bunch of values. So they're probably going to come at you with these values and say, but the values are good. Why don't we just use them? I mean, they're the good values. It's individuals and interactions over peoples and processes, or processes and tools. Guys, we live for processes and tools. That's how we run the company. It's how we control everybody. We don't trust anybody. If you don't trust anybody, you put a whole bunch of processes and tools in place. Obviously, how could they dare take away our fun and games with processes and tools? You've got it. That's what you got to do. You got it. Hey, first thing. So they're like way off the mark there completely. And then you've got, what's up next? They've got working software over comprehensive documentation. Guys, we all know if you don't document it, you will get stabbed in the back at some point, because we've done it to other people. So you know it's coming, right? Okay, so you've got to document everything. Make sure they document everything as well. Explain why. But obviously the guys who wrote this, they didn't get stabbed in the back enough. But if you've been up here for long enough, you've got a few wounds, a few scars to show. You don't leave yourself open. So obviously we want to document everything. Then they've got, oh, I love it, customer collaboration over, contract negotiation. I don't know where they came from, but I mean, I used to really enjoy sitting with central purchasing, and like your supplier has come in with his lowest bid, and central purchasing works them down 12% from that, and they are sweating because they're making a loss on this project. That's one of the joys of life. And they want to take that away from us. Why would we want to do that? It's just not on. And then the last one is like, something about allowing change rather than following a plan or sticking to a plan. And you got to ask yourself, have they never been to a project steering committee? You can't go to a project steering committee and say, they ask you, how's it going? And you say, well, it's 412 points in the backlog. That's not telling them anything. You're not going to get away with that. You need the iron triangle. Don't let it out of your hands. Always keep the iron triangle. Scope, budget, time. It might get a bit buckled and break and not always work, but we need it as managers, we keep it, okay? So they'll come at you with this stuff, okay? I'm not sure where they got these ideas, a little bit mad, but just first thing is to say, that's grand, that's software development, but I'm still trying to run a company here, okay? So that's up when it comes to it. Now, you might think that the manifesto is bad, but it really has nothing on the Scrum guide, okay? We managers, we hardworking managers, we do not exist in the Scrum guide, okay? The Scrum guide has obliterated managers. We're just not there, okay? The team lives in a world devoid of managers. Scrum teams can reach agile nirvana and all empowering empowerment without managers around to block their way. All hail the holy trinity of the Scrum Master, product owner, and developer. It's fucking religious. It's madness. And we don't exist. Now, there was a loophole in the whole thing, okay? And they spotted this, right? So you go back to the old versions of the Scrum guide. By the way, do you ever know if the Scrum guide's getting smaller bit by bit? At some point, we're going to reach the Emperor's new Scrum guide. It'll be 0 pages, okay? The Amazon will be saved and the Scrum guide will be 0 pages. And there's still going to be some smackheads going, oh, wow, would you look at what Jeff and Ken did with the role of the Scrum Master? It's still going to be going on. It's like I said, it's a bit religious, okay? But what happened was they realized they'd left a loophole in it, because even though they'd managed to not put the word manager in there, they did have self-organizing teams, okay? Now, self-organizing team for me is a little bit like if you're you can put a football, when you put the football team runs out onto the pitch, right? And the goalkeeper knows he's going into the goals, and the midfielder's there for the kickoff, and the forward knows he's the one supposed to be scoring the goals. And obviously it doesn't always work like that, but at least they know when they run out onto the pitch. And on the side, looking really grumpy and, doing the usual manager thing where they walk around the place and kick bottles and stuff like that. You have a manager. There was still room for a manager. You could kind of squeeze a manager into the Scrum guide on the sidelines, looking in like a football match. They saw that, they spotted it. And then the teams became self-managing. And that killed the manager. So yeah, Scrum is an existential threat to everything that we stand for and everything we do. Literally, they're coming for us. We should be disappearing. They believe that the holy trinity of the team, scaled accordingly, can do everything. Magic happens when you put the team together. No managers required. It's great. So the Scrum Guide is the one that's really, really the one you got to watch for. The one that's really obvious. They want us. They're coming for us. As I said, though, they're coming for us in slow motion. So that's the good news. You can see them coming. It's a bit like zombies attacking. It's like, okay, yes, now we're moving to, okay, yes. It's been 15 years and they're still moving. So you're okay on that front. Plenty of time to shoot them through the head or whatever's necessary for these kind of zombies. It's enough, there's enough Scrum zombies out there as well anyway. So anyway, you've got the Holy Trinity. You've got no managers. We don't exist, which is a terrible thing, obviously. And so what's up next? Now, why are we doing Agile then? I mean, why would we as companies want to be doing Agile? So I think the answer basically comes down to something that my daughter had to explain to me, but it seems to be the right thing. FOMO, like fear of missing out. It's like if everybody else is doing it and everybody else has been seen to do Agile, then we need to be seen to be doing Agile as well, okay? So it's all about being with the cool kids. Yeah, we're being Agile too. Yeah, we got all this Agile. Yeah, we've got Kanban boards and like Scrum and I don't know, tribe leads and stuff like that, I think, but we're Agile, you know, so that's what it is. It's keeping up with the Joneses. It's about, you know, staying in there and being seen to be Agile. It's not that important to actually be Agile, which is why our jobs are probably safe, okay? Because we're not really interested in changing an awful lot, okay? We just want to be seen to be Agile. So we'll come back to the whole rebanding thing later on, but you'll see there's this sort of kind of trend to the whole thing. So you got basically as a manager, we probably face about two levels of danger, two kind of threats here. One of them is basically, and this is the one you want to have as a manager, okay? You know, your vice president or whoever's above you, he basically says to you, agilize those guys. I want you to agilize them, okay? And you're going, yes, sir, gonna agilize them. They're gonna get freaking agilized. Okay, that's great. It's in your hands. You can control this. Remember, it's all about power, people. We are not giving up power. It's all about you. You're come first. Okay, we do not give power up. So everything we can do to keep power, we do. Okay, we maintain the status quo, or we get even more power. But that's the advanced course. This is for the one after this. That's €1,000 for an hour. So I've got ideas what we're going to do now. So this is the top down. So you're in charge. This is absolutely fantastic because you don't have to change at all. They need to become agile. You don't have to do anything. You just need to look like you're into it, okay? So that's all you need to do is look like you're into it, okay? Now, the other threat is the company might start to take it a bit seriously and the organization is supposed to become agile. They're going to hit you with a couple of scaling frameworks. We'll get into them later on, but that's the sort of second level of threat. There, you're under a little bit more danger than you would be otherwise, okay? So first up, let's take a look at your choice. Now, if you have a choice and you're calling the shots and you've been told to agilize them, your answer is Kanban, okay? You want to do Kanban with them, okay? Kanban's beautiful. It's colorful. There's lots of Post-it notes. There are boards hanging everywhere. Kanban is, it's the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas. This is super because it looks so agile, okay? So in terms of how much it looks agile versus how much it actually is agile, this totally wins on the looking agile front with a minimum amount of work on the inside, okay? Now, the best thing about Kanban is that Kanban says, start where you are, stop starting, start finishing. And we as managers, if we do that right, we can end up exactly where we were at the start. It doesn't go anywhere. So you start where you are. That's basically what we have. You let it run for 2 months like that, okay? And then, you know, stop starting, start finishing. So stop changing anything. Leave it the way it was. If anything comes back, you say, hey, that's beyond my control. We can't change that. We'll just have to keep going the way we are. And everything keeps going as it was before. You just keep working the way you were working before. Working the way you were before means you were still in charge, calling the shots. It's brilliant. And it's like great because it's so visible. That means that you can, you know, you can take important people. So you could take a board member. Okay, that joke didn't. Okay, Kanban board member. Okay, forget it. C-level executive. take him on out, but you bring him into this, how agile you are. You say, you don't say, do you want to come and take a look at the Kanban board? You say, do you fancy a Gemba? Okay. And then you say, okay, let's go Gemba down through the agile board. You can show the boards on the left and the right and say, look at this, look at how agile we are. And they buy it. That's agility to them. It looks agile. I said we wanted to look agile, right? We look agile. Okay. Have we changed how we work? No, it's great. We're still in charge. So that's why Kanban is your friend. Okay. Kanban's the one you want to be working with. Now, there is one small catch to Kanban. Okay. Kanban is a small catch. That catch is Klaus Leopold. Don't let him near anybody. Okay. He's got this flight level concept. And he thinks managers should actually be doing Kanban boards and working in an agile way as well, which is ridiculous. But so stay clear of Klaus, okay, and his flight levels. That's a bad idea. Things can happen if he gets involved. It's just don't go there, okay? Just let the teams, just make sure the teams are doing it. You just watch and make sure the Post-it notes are nice and colorful. You know, you can offer to buy even more Post-it notes for them. If necessary, make the boards bigger so they can put more work on them. It's great. What else can go wrong? You know, it's great. So there you go. That's Kanban. Now, that's lucky if you get to do that. Mostly, you're going to end up, I mean, the scars from Kanban are pretty minimal, to be honest. So if you want to have a bit of bragging scars, something to really show, you got to done battle with Scrum. Okay. So if you're playing, this is like level 1 stuff with Kanban, level 2, if the boss at the end of the first bit is Scrum. Okay. That's the one you're going to have to line up against. So what I'm going to say to you next is maybe a bit counterintuitive. You mightn't think this would be the thing to do. If, as managers, why the hell do we want to do this? First thing to do as a manager, go get a certified Scrum Master. Okay, become a certified Scrum Master. See, you're all not saying anything. 2 good reasons to do this. 1, know your enemy. Okay, first reason, you're going to spend 2 days with a bunch of smackheads. You'll be into their way of thinking and you can use it against them. We'll come back to that later. Second reason, you are now as equally qualified as any other Scrum Master out there for 2 days' work. This is not 40,000 euros and your firstborn child to your company so that you can do an MBA in a foreign country. This is 2 days of your time and you rule the Agile roost. Because not only are you now a certified Scrum Master, okay, and they come to you and say, we should do this, we should do that. You can go, hey, wait, I've got the qualification too, dude. And I'm saying we're doing this. And he says, we should do this. And then you go, and then you pull out your other card and you go, boom. Yeah, but I'm the manager. So we're doing it my way. Okay. You are a certified Scrum Manager. That's way better than being a certified Scrum Master, okay? Because you have a trump card. Every time there's a decision to be made, not only are you equally qualified, you've done the 2 days, you understood everything, you have the manager card to play too. So first recommend, make a note of that one. Go out, get a CSM. It's 2 days of hard work with those guys, but it's worth it in the end because it gives you so much extra power at this stage. So it's a good way to do it. Now, actually, I do need the drink. I'm trying to think of what to do next. The great thing about being a CSM, this puts you in the perfect position to decide who the Scrum Master should be, okay? Now, you might be tempted. So, original Scrum Guide, or the new version of the Scrum Guide says, a Scrum Master is a leader who serves, okay? And the emphasis now on leader. Now, the last thing we want people is leaders underneath us. Leaders foment rebellions. The change happens with leaders. The last thing we need as managers is to have leaders underneath us. For God's sake, we'd be stamping out rebellions left, right, and center, people wanting to change things and God knows what. You don't want that happening. God, no. So now you might be tempted, you got to be careful here. So you might be tempted to take the work experience student and say, I'm making you Scrum Master, because I mean, talking about the levels of standing in the company, not much chance, but you wouldn't be seen to be taking it seriously, okay? And the same thing goes for, you could also go with the junior tester. The junior tester might just be able to blow a whistle and get them into a daily and out of a daily or something like that. No danger of a rebellion, because everyone's sort of like, they're looking down basically, and he's just about tolerated doing this because we have to do it. It came from we have to do it, okay? Not so good, but there are other options, people. There's other options that are great because they also don't work, but they look good. Take your most senior developer and make him the Scrum Master. Now, the irony is the senior developer probably actually wants to be agile. He has no fucking time to do that. No way. He is drowning in technical debt, holding hands for the juniors, doing code reviews, and God knows what else, but there's no fucking time to be a Scrum Master, I can tell you. No rebellion, no chance, and you took it seriously. Senior, come on, you took the senior developer. That's taking it seriously, right? You can't be accused of faking it. I mean, come on. You're the type of guy, you're going to put a poster up in your room behind your back so you don't have to get sick every time you see it. But you got a poster behind, in your room, which is showing that you're into this thing, which is, don't do agile, be agile. Okay. So they know you're serious. It's got to look like you're serious. You can also add a few books to this, okay? Put a few books in the background, of your desk, particularly if you're doing Zoom calls, always really good. Put a library up there of all the important things like Turn the Ship Around and Team Topologies and Agile Coaching, a whole bunch of these really cool books, which you never have to read. It's great, but they look great. And so you need to look like you're into this, okay? So you took the senior developer. Might not work. Even better. Just go with the group lead or the team lead. He was giving them the work to do anyway, and he's a senior person, so you're taking it seriously, right? And you just say, okay, so we're gonna bring him in, and he's gonna do it. Now, so you've basically, got people here, and if we do this, of course, the perfect combination is you manage to make the group leader, the Scrum Master, and the product owner, and then you own it. It's yours. You own this thing, basically. It is a management slam dunk, okay? You have everything back in control, just where you wanted to have it all the time. But you're doing Scrum. We have a Scrum team. Look, we have a product owner and a Scrum Master, the same person. He's also the line organization. But it's brilliant. We're doing Scrum. Hey, I can show you a backlog. Great. Super. It's not as, unfortunately, there's not as many posters on the board and stuff like that when you do Scrum, but I mean, you can nail this down. It's okay. It's good. Now, sometimes, unfortunately, they dig up budget for a Scrum Master, like a real Scrum Master, and you're going to have to deal with your first smack. Okay. Now, there's quite an easy way of dealing with your first smack when he comes in. Okay. The first smack comes in, and basically you say to this poor Scrum Master, you go, there's 3 teams, get cracking, on you go. The guy will never be out of a fucking meeting from the minute he gets into the company, okay? He's got 3 teams to look after, 3 retros, 3 reviews, 3 everything. He will not be able to breathe. He's just been going from one to the next, and then no rebellion, no time, no time. Remember, it's a key message here the whole time. Keep them busy. Keep the smacks and the smackheads busy, because if they're busy, they can't ferment any revolution, okay? That's what you do. Keep them down. Just keep them busy. Make them feel like they're actually doing something. Agile, haha. Yeah, great, good stuff. Keep going. Just keep them busy, right? Because otherwise they might get ideas. That's, yeah. Like, don't let them come to conferences and stuff like that. So, like I said, just bring them in there and just go for it. Just like 3 teams. And whatever happens, do not let the product owner come from business. God, no. Because I mean, the synergies and other things could happen, or, there's dynamics there. Then we have a really complex system that you cannot control properly anymore. Very dangerous. Okay. Make sure there's at least 2 layers, very much 2 layers between your guys and anybody to do with business. Okay. So like, just put in a bunch of business analysis and a product owner from the IT side, and, make sure that the business side also has their own business analysis or something like that. Just make sure that the customers, the end users, and whoever's doing it are as far apart as possible. Okay. Just ensure that you can do this so that you look after number 1. You don't want them screwing things up on you. They might have ideas, notions. So another thing we can do is that, and we can do this, the old metric used to be that we did, lines of code per developer and stuff like that. Because I mean, we know, here's the honest to God truth. We all know this. Developers are basically a bunch of gold bricking wasters who, you can tell they don't do much because you just need to look at their t-shirts. You can see what they're into just based on their t-shirts. It's like, some form of thrashy heavy metal music, or, Ring of Thrones, or, Game of Power, or whatever the hell is going around at the moment. You can see it all over their t-shirts, right? And if they were any fucking good, why is our code so full of bugs? Okay. So you need to put them under a bit of pressure. Okay. So we used to do lines of code per developer. In fact, you did a CSM. You're a certified Scrum manager. We are now doing story points per developer. Okay, that's what we're going to do. Story points per developer. Now, this means, of course, that we're going to have to, assign one story to a developer or have them fight over it. But I mean, just do this, bring it in, a little bit of pressure. And then you go, this is what you said to the, the smacks. You go, listen, I've read Jeff Sutherland. It's twice the work in half the time. That's a 400% improvement. Now you have story points per developer, and you can say, and I want that to be 4 times higher by the end of the year. We have a nice bit of pressure on them. Keep them, keep them awake. You could run a competition where you fire the lowest scoring developer every quarter, but I just wouldn't recommend it in the current market because basically it's kind of hard to get developers. But otherwise I would do it. But at the moment it's kind of hard to get developers. So the other thing, if you can make it up to the developers, because one of the things you can do is basically as a line manager, you could sit into one of the retros because you want to do it. And then you realize in this retro, it's an hour and a half of them not writing code. So you want to get them back on side because you've just, like you told me, you want a 400%, cancel the retro. Okay, it's just easy. And obviously the SMAC's going to get annoyed about this, but he plays his CSM, you play your CSM, and then you play manager. Bang. That's it. Retro's gone. Developers back on side again. Yes, we like that one. Okay. The other great thing is because you are now, because you are now qualified, here's another great one. 4-week sprints. Okay, 4-week sprints are excellent because in a 4-week sprint, first of all, 3 4-week sprints, quarterly release. Do we feel at home with quarterly releases? Of course we feel at home with quarterly releases. Great, 4-week sprint, quarterly release. First sprint, do all the development. Second sprint, do the system integration tests. Third sprint, do the customer acceptance test. Bingo, we have a release, just like we had before. Don't need to change anything. It works like a dream. 4-week sprints, it's great, it's good. Now, sometimes it may happen, like I said, the smack heads, they're a bit persistent. You can put all these hurdles in front of them and they keep going. It's nearly admirable. It's quite, you could nearly say it's impressive how enthusiastic they are about this whole agile thing. And they just keep going and they don't stop no matter all these hurdles you're throwing in their way, okay? So what you really need is you need God on your side, okay? And you're not just God on your side, you're going to put God in the team. God stands for grumpy old developer. Grumpy old developer is a lifer, okay? He probably joined the company 35 years ago and worked in accounting. And when they brought COBOL in to write some of the stuff on the mainframe, because he was good with numbers, he got to be the programmer, okay? This guy has not been interested in learning anything new since Pascal came out as a programming language. Now, he is 4 years before going into pension, okay, right? And you know this guy because you're going to see him. He's always the one who's sitting there with the, yeah, okay, yeah. And he's listening to stuff and he's going to go, that won't work here. And it's, no, we tried that. That doesn't work. Yeah, we used to work like that 30 years ago, but you changed everything. And then there's the ultimate, well, make me do it. You can't. This guy is holding everything together. He's one of these superhero type people. He's not really a superhero, but I mean, he's in a position where if he takes his finger out of the holes in the boat sinks. And everybody is shitless about anything happening to him. It's like cotton wool around him. Don't let anything happen. Don't let anything. He's the only person who knows how this works. Okay. Now, you've had your struggles trying to get this guy, to do stuff and stuff like that. You know what it's like. Now, this is real. This is what you do. You basically put him in the team, and then you call the scrum master over and you go, listen, come here. I'm a little bit worried about him. I don't think he has an agile mindset. I'd really like you to put some effort into giving him an agile mindset, okay? Because it hasn't been, I think it'd be really important for the team. And this guy is just gonna, look, let's be honest here. This guy can smell his retirement. Why the hell would he want to change anything? He's not going to change anything. He could go, oh yeah, it's 4 years away from my pension. And you want me to become agile? So He is, and this is great, this is occupational therapy for the Scrum Master, because he is going to bite his teeth out on this guy. Okay, but he's busy. He's like a dog with a bone. It's like, and you can just send him off, and there's no more rebellion. He's too busy trying to fix the mindset of the grumpy old developer, which is sure going to work, you know? So, so this is it. This is how you keep them busy. Remember I said keep them busy? Give them a grumpy old developer. That'll keep them busy for a long time. Yeah. So, we only got 5 minutes left. Is it really that? Jesus, I'm going slower than last time. Right, a quick one. Okay, so certain 10 minutes. Good. I'll get in 2 things then. Right, here we go. So this joke, speeded up version of this thing, if it's a joke. So certain things are banned. I was growing up in Ireland in the last century, which was the last millennium, which certainly felt like a lot of stuff was banned. Okay, and there's one or two things which are banned in the Agile community. One of them is safe, and the other one is Jira. Now, I want to talk to you guys about the joy of Jira. Okay, the joy of Jira. Jira is fantastic. You can create a Jira jungle that no Scrum Master will ever get out of alive. Okay, so there's a certain approach to doing this. Okay. Very important, have lots of different projects going at the same. First off, lots of different projects. Now, in each of those projects, have different issue types, okay? Different issue types and those things. So you can go with, you know, we have a change feature, we have a new feature, we have a legacy feature, we have a technical debt, we have an error, we have an epic, we have an initiative, we have a story, we have a task, we have a subtask. Whatever occurs to you, just like, you know, incidents and bugs, just whatever you can find, okay? But the real trick is not just all these different issue types. You need to have a different workflow behind each of the issue types, okay? And some of those workflows need to go all the way to deployment. Therefore, you've got user stories that are not finished till they are in deployment, which only happens every once a quarter. So you can give the team a real brow breathing and say, well, why are you getting no stories done every sprint? Because it's not being deployed. Okay. How far you want to take this is up to you. But the important thing is he should need a machete to kind of get anywhere. This guy is going to spend his life writing queries in Jira, trying to find out what is happening. Okay. Now, when he comes crying to you as the manager, because he's removing impediments in Jira, the way Jira said this is an impediment, you have to go, oh, Jesus, that's terrible. Oh, feck. Well, let's see what I can do. And then you come back a day later, I'm sorry, it's corporate policy. We can't change that. It's the way it's done in this company. I can't do anything about that. I'd love to. I'd really love to help you, but I can't. And you leave him with this thing. Now, what you do on top of this, now that you've actually done this, okay, and he's like stuck in this, then you demand a bunch of reporting, okay? So go for, you know, lines of code per developer, story points per developer, cycle times, lead times, number of incidents in test, in live, in production, time to fix things, everything, anything you can think about, okay? And don't worry, lads, no, just demand lots of stuff. You don't actually have to look at it or do anything with it, okay? You just need to keep him busy getting all this reporting done. You tell him the job of the SMAC is to actually do lots of reporting. Okay, so that's what you get in there with Jira. Jira is brilliant. Jira is our philosophy. It is processes and tools over individuals and interactions. Booyah! That's our manifesto. Hey, great, it's working. Right, I'm gonna skip ahead to something here. Well, I'm gonna say one thing. Yeah, hang on a second. Here's the other thing is, look, you want to really get through this whole thing, and the SMAC head's been a bit of a pain in the ass, okay? You really want to get through this, take a leaf out of Grumpy Old Developer's book. You just got to sit it out, okay? Sit them out. After a while, any one of these people, when they have been in the company for long enough, become part of the system, okay? So what I'm saying to you is trust your company culture, okay? I'm pretty sure that Peter Drucker said, culture eats smack heads for breakfast. Okay? You give it long enough, and your company culture will eat these people up. Okay, they just can't survive too long. So it's a bit tough. You got to write it out at the start. Okay, you'll have a few scars from the stuff, but in the end of the day, okay, and you know you've got there. Okay, you know you've got there, because what's going to happen is they're going to be that you'll see them thinking, and they'll be like in the fall, I'm thinking, you know, we could, and then they'll go, nah, that would never work here, and you go, boom, I won. That's it. I waited it out. It's happened. He said that would never work here. You know, basically agile coaches become grumpy old developer. Okay. They are part of the system. The system has become this. Okay. They have, and at this point, you now have your own little pet smackhead. This is great because you just need to feed them. Now, whatever you do, don't get rid of them. You just spent 2 years house training them, okay, to be the kind of, you know, agile person you want them to be, which is basically one that makes sure you stay in charge, okay? So you've just done that to them, okay? So having put all that effort in, don't get rid of them straight away or anything like that. Just feed them little scraps of agility every now and again so that they feel like they're doing something. You say, you know what? I've been thinking about it, and it's okay. We'll stop estimating in days. You can use story points after all. Okay, you know, little things like that, so they have a feeling of moving something forward. So that's something you can have a go at there with them. Just wait them out. Literally, just wait them out. At some point, they become part of the system. So I'll have one last one. They might come at you with a scaling framework. Okay, scaled agile framework, safe. Nomen ist omen with this one, okay? Have you ever heard a better named framework? Okay, I mean, safe. Safe as houses, safety net, safe pair of hands, safe bet, safe haven. I wonder what they were trying to say to us. You know, what was the message? What do you think they were going for when they came up with the name safe? I mean, have you ever considered it's actually more lean in safe than there is agile? What if they called it the scaled lean agile process, SLAP? Would you be running around the place? What are you guys doing? Oh, well, we're being slapped about at the moment. I mean, it sounds like some sort of masochistical thing. Oh, wait, agile transformations are masochistical. Yeah, but it sounds like some sort of like you're being slapped around. Would you do something called SLAP? No, you're doing it because it's called safe. Okay, I mean, for the German-speaking friends out there, what if they called it the Scaled Agile Unified Framework, SAUF? Okay, was tut sie eigentlich? Na, wir saufen. Hey, guys, they called it safe for a reason. Okay, it's pretty unsubtle actually as reasons go, but it feckin' well works because I mean, you're safe with safe, lads. Sign on the dotted line. If they say we're doing safe, it's great. And the important thing, when they're doing safe, it's really simple. Remember, it's all about keeping our power. Now, safe's going to do all this bullshit about value streams and release trains and stuff like that. The important thing for you to remember is that your department or division or whatever you have, that is the train. Okay? That is going to be the release train. You are not into this whole cross-functional stuff and things like that. You've got to make sure that your silo becomes the train. Okay? That is your job to make sure. After you've done that, because safe will keep the line organization, that's you, your power, and just make sure that your power is also the train. Okay, then you can be like, it doesn't matter if you want to be the release train engineer or you want to be the, you know, the product management, whatever you want to be after that, it's immaterial as long as the power stays where you are. Okay, so you remember that. And the other thing they'll do, you know, safe is brilliant because it's a home game basically. It's, come on, PI planning, it's fucking quarterly releases. It's the same stuff all over again. It's what we're doing anyway. It's brilliant. So it's a home. You can't lose with safe. So definitely, if you get a chance to do safe, definitely sign up for safe. Safe is the one you want to be doing. There's one out there though that's slightly more dangerous than that, and that's less large scale Scrum. Okay. Now, if less comes up, make a beeline for safe. The first thing you need to do if less comes up to say, hey, have you guys looked at safe? I think safe might fit us a bit better because less is like it sounds like. Listen to the word safe, less, safe, less. What do you think less is saying to you? Okay, this says your job is safe with safe. The other one says you could be a loss with less. Yeah, hey, who wants to go into that risk? No way. Okay, and the worst thing is, Craig Larman, one of the founders of Less, okay, this guy, he's got these laws of organizational behavior. Craig has worked out what we managers are up to. And he has had the audacity to put it in his first law, where he says organizations are designed to retain the status quo and the power structure that exist. And all I can say to that is, well, thank fuck, it's my job. I don't want losing that. Hey, it's great the organizations are set up like that. So, you know, if anyone suggests bringing Craig in to talk to senior management or something like that, make sure to, you know, somehow put a kibosh on that, because he's got some ideas like a little bit too radical, a little bit too dangerous, a little bit too out there, you know, you got to watch it with him. So there you go. I hope I have been of some help. I've explained to you that it starts off with the fact that, you know, it's about agile software development. Remember, get your CSM. Kanban is your answer to having colorful walls. It's great. You don't have to redecorate. And you've got, basically, when you've got down and you get scrum masters and stuff, just keep them busy. Make sure they don't have any time to actually lead and foment rebellion or have bright ideas and stuff like that. And if you have to choose a scaling framework, you just go with SAFe. Okay. I will be outside signing autograph photographs for 15 euros a pop. Anyone who's interested, and thank you so much for listening to me.